When we bought the worst house on the street, we knew we had our work cut out. And we are picking up the pace if we don't want another Christmas like this. So this week, we want to share with you our potential plans for the garden.
This is the most exciting part. We're going to have a live roof.
Our attempt to save £400 making our own designer lampshade.
I don't like it.
And we look to tackle the crux of the whole renovation, the dreaded back wall. And we really need your help deciding what to do here.
Help.
Good bones, they said. How's that for a good bone? We are ready, willing and able to get stuck in.
Having fun?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, one thing we did not think we would be doing is tearing down the back half of the house ourselves. But then we got some quotes in to do this job and well, it looks like we are doing it ourselves. So what's the plan today?
Pull down the chimney.
You scared?
Yeah.
What are you scared about?
The house may collapse.
Anything else?
We might break other people's windows.
What's happening with the window?
So we're smashing out the window and it's going to be moved where the chimney currently is.
Alright, big job.
Let's do this.
It's gonna rain, innit?
Yeah.
Let's save some money, create some carnage, and try not to kill ourselves in the process. After a race to the deadline to get these steels in before our builder left us for a month, and the realisation that our wall was much worse than we initially thought,
I can let you push the bricks off.
it's now time for us to pull down the whole wall, and well, you have to start from the top.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights too.
To the chimney stack. We called in for a crew of scaffolding who threw up the levels in 2 days, and hey presto, we have the balcony of our dreams. We actually quite like the view from up here. What's the view like?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. This cost us just under £1,000 for 6 weeks of use, so we've got a lot to get cracking on with before it's taken away from us again.
Let's do this.
These chimney stacks are in better condition than the rest of the walls, as the entire street had government funded improvements on chimney stacks in the 60s, but the back wall has fallen behind and is in a perilous condition. And just as Mystic Paloma anticipated, the one day we had to get this job done, the weather turned. But the show had to go on, so wet, miserable and afraid of heights, we clambered up and got to work. Our neighbours agreed we could take down their chimney in the process, and we started by taking off the cowls,
Bit scary,
which
innit?
of course, like the rest of the house, needed little persuasion to come off. Using a hammer and chisel, we gently chipped away, catching any loose debris so it wouldn't fall on next door's roof.
Piece of old cloth. Tied it with string so if it falls down we can pull it back up. Stuff it really far in, well not really far in, up to where we're doing it. And it just stops everything from going down and making like a damp ridging.
Nice. Keep up the good work.
We then removed each line of bricks, loosening them with a couple of taps and dropping them into the garden. But the conditions were getting ropey and there was no time for jokes. What did the old chimney say to the young chimney?
I don't know.
You're too young to smoke. Okay, maybe one joke, but we had to get the job done, with the chimney and whole back wall needing to be pulled down in the next 3 days, ready for the bricky to rebuild. As we worked methodically around, the weather got worse and worse until we were cold, miserable, soaked, and finally finished. We covered the gap temporarily with felt to stop damp from moving inside and ran for cover. The back wall would have to wait for another day, but my god, it's gonna be worth it.
While the heavens opened outside, I turned my attention to my next DIY project. I'll warn you now, it's not my brightest moment.
I don't like it.
We found these beautiful paper mache lampshades online, but with a hefty price tag, they were way beyond our means. However, after a little heartbreak and a flashback to some of my genius creations as a 5-year-old, I thought to myself, I can defo do that.
Welcome to Paloma Makes Things.
I started by collecting a load of shredded paper from friends and family, which I left to soak.
Time to wait an hour.
Once it was softened through, I used an old blender and started blending the paper to make a pulp. It took quite a while to get through all the material, but eventually I had enough for a base.
And we're basically just gonna fill your sock.
I grabbed a yoga ball and covered it in cling film, and we'll be using this as the base for the lampshade.
So now we get a PVA glue, some corn flour, a bit of baking powder apparently. and a bit of oil. We have really posh olive oil. So mix it all up. I'm going to start adding the paper pulp. It's a nice consistency.
I started building the shade on the ball, making it about 15mm thick and smoothing in bits as I went. I was trying to make an organic shape, but had no clue how to do so started using the ball as a guide to make shorter and longer edges and just hope for the best.
What do you think?
I like it, I think.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Once I thought I was happy with the shape, I left it to dry and waited. And waited. And waited.
It's been pretty much a week, maybe 5 days, since I've done this, and it's now dry. So I think it's time to take it off.
At this point, I started to doubt my work.
Get your drill and give it a go.
You gonna paint it?
Yeah.
What colour?
White. I'm going to start with painting the inside. So now we flip. Paint the outside. I've got a spare light thing that we didn't use, and it's a really sunny day, so I'm going to put it outside.
3 days later.
What do you think?
I don't like it. We've hung it and it's dried. I need to paint the bottom bits and give the whole thing a second thing so it's not as like blue. It's not quite what I was going in mind. I do wonder if it needs to be more closed. Any paper mache geniuses, can I add wet paper mache to an already dry carcass to the edges, or will it just break off?
So, what's the verdict? Can this be saved? Let me know in the comments below before I give in and label this project a complete failure.
So, a bit more work on this one.
I think so.
Project Paloma!
Let's go. Welcome to the garden. So when we first got this place, we couldn't even enter the garden because it was so overgrown, and we spent 4 days cutting it by hand and getting it down to this. I'm not sure we've done anything better because look at the state.
I actually think it looks worse than when it started, don't you?
Yeah, I think it is way worse than when it started, but it will get better. So let's go for a little tour. This is the only thing that actually survived the coal, and this is a dog rose bush and another type of rose that I'm not sure. Anybody know? Imagine, we need your imagination caps. This area is the area of most sunlight, so it has it right until the end of the day. So we're going to try and make part of this our chill out area, maybe a pizza oven using some of the reclaimed brick. So we're going to have a window seat here looking over, and our little herb patch thinking rosemary, thyme, lavender, mint, but being careful of the mint roots because they go wild. What's your favourite herb and what should we include? We're having a little path, cobbled maybe. We talked about reclaimed bricks, but worried about it freezing and then cracking. If anyone's made a reclaimed brick path, let us know if you do it again. Imagine a fountain here, loads of different bushes and trees, maybe a little pond for our aquatic friend. And then this is the most exciting part. This area is going to be a woodworking shop. We're going to have a live roof, ivy covered walls so it blends into the garden, and the secret weapon, our sauna.
So let's recap. We've got two main options for our wildlife friendly southwest facing garden. Our first option packs in as much foliage as possible, creating a secret garden feel. With 3 seating areas, there's options for every mood. There's a classic fountain in the middle and a winding path around, a design that helps make the garden appear larger by blurring the boundaries and avoiding any straight lines. Our second option takes on a more traditional terraced garden approach with a lawn and stepping stones to the back. By reducing how much foliage is put on the right hand side, we free up some space for some veggie planters. The possibilities are endless, but which one of these options would you choose? This is our first time designing a garden, so do let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've got any extra ideas, feel free to send drawings in to us on Instagram or by email.
But before we can even think about the luxury of a sauna, never mind landscaping a garden, we have one last job to add to the mess. And it's the biggest mess of the whole renovation project, taking down the back wall.
See these massive cracks higher up above our window, so I'm not really sure how it's going to hold up or the damage I'm going to cause below. But there's only one way to find out. Can't go drill. But first, I need some goggles. There's the inside of our chimney.
I angle grinded down the line where our shoddy render meets next doors to make sure the cut was clean. Bon voyage, old brick, whee! But trying to take the render off on its own didn't prove easy.
Bricks are coming off with the render. Not sure whether that's a good or bad thing.
We got our first glimpse of this mini attic space, and surprisingly, the wooden supports don't look too bad at first glance. Gonna hurry up, the brickies will be here soon. It's basically dust. I do wonder if this is just making an absolute mess in our room downstairs. Ooh, this is a bit scary, isn't it?
How's it going?
Just, it's a lot. There's going to be so much mess. Because obviously we've got the chimney stack here, that's all coming down with it. Brick by brick, dust by dust, I brought down the wall, much to the bemusement of Bella and Delith, but the nosy neighbours didn't seem to care much. Well, apart from this one. The viewpoint from up here is quite fun, and golden hour was in full flow, so it was time to take stock and settle up for the day.
Looking in down our chimney, that's our back room, and that's our attic. What a job, eh? It's like 6 in the evening on the first day. Got one more day to do it. It's going to be some challenge to get this done before the brickies come. Not even sure I can do it, but let's tidy up and crack on tomorrow, yeah?
Good bones, they said.
How's that for a good bone? Maybe let's go for the mask on.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually just all crumbling down there.
Yeah.
Paloma was called in from fixing her amazing fashionable lampshade, and the A-team were back in action. We got stuck straight in, propping up the roof with a strong boy just as an extra precaution.
Get it really tight before you put it in.
The lintel for the window was next, and then the actual window. But that needed a little more persuasion than we anticipated.
We managed to get all this out.
Quite a lot out actually, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's literally just held together with dust,
Yeah.
which is wild. But we now have hit the window, and we've got a concrete lintel and a wooden beam above it. So the window is still in, so we should probably take the glass out the window first so that it doesn't smash. Safety first, and then...
It would be quite fun just to smash it though.
But we've got workmen here tomorrow, and we want to make sure that they don't die. And yeah, once that's done, we just carry on going.
Smash
Got
it
my
down.
lunch?
Maybe by the end of the day, we're lucky.
Alright, just keep going. Hey?
We don't have that.
You're kidding me. Never the optimist. Having fun?
Yeah.
So you're thinking about soon?
It'll make it look so much bigger.
Remember Woolworths? Remember Woolworths? You're so close, just that bit of wall to go. How you feeling?
Quite satisfying.
Yeah?
Bit scary.
Nice to have a really light back room, isn't it?
Mm.
State of it. Right, I think we're pretty much done here. Just a couple of things left to do, which is, let me get the angles right, angle grind these bricks, flush as we can for the brickies, and this wall here needs knocking out, but it's just a bit scary, so we're just taking it easy with that one. Hit me.
We had a bit of a thriller of a moment finding a Michael Jackson LP literally in the fireplace. And as freaky as it is, the song is Ben, which I'm sure you know is about missing his pet rodent, which after just getting rid of our resident rodents, Nugget and Ronald, was a lovely touch.
We're very dusty people, but look at this. Oh my freaking god, we've knocked down pretty much the whole wall. And we can see into our amazing back room.
How long you been living in Wales?
A bit too long by the look of it. Paloma just laughed at me and said, "Oh, funny. I know what she's talking about."
Wow. You look like a coal miner. A real Welshman.
Real Welshman. I'm a Jones.
Suits ya.
How you feeling? Doesn't look like you can move. You're just gonna sleep there. Okay, no.
What do you think? How did we do? And with that, we thought the job was done. If you've enjoyed this episode, do hit the subscribe button now, because the journey has literally only just begun in renovating our crumbling Victorian terrace. We're in this together, nosy neighbours. Let's do this.
Just when you think your hard work day is done, you come downstairs. Look at how much mess we have to clean up. That is insane. No rest for the wicked. It's all going to be worth it, right?